The Forgotten House. In the small town of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the shadowy woods, there stood an old, decrepit house that had long been abandoned. It was a place of eerie legends, whispered tales, and ghostly rumors that kept the curious at bay. Locals called it the Forgotten House, and they warned children to never venture near it, for the place was said to be cursed. The house itself was a haunting sight to behold. Its once grand facade was now a crumbling mess of timbers and shattered windows, draped in ivy and surrounded by a wild tangle of overgrown vegetation. The mere sight of it sent shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to pass by. Among the townsfolk, the story of the house's dark past was passed down from generation to generation. Legend had it that a reclusive family once dwelled within its walls, and they were rumored to have practiced dark magic and unspeakable rituals. The townspeople believed that the family's thirst for power led them to summon malevolent spirits that cursed the house and everything around it. As the story goes, one fateful night, the townspeople had finally had enough of the family's wicked ways. A mob gathered, fueled by fear and anger, and stormed the house. The confrontation was fierce, and in the end the entire family was driven inside the house, which was then set ablaze. The night sky glowed with an eerie red hue as the flames devoured the dwelling, and the family's tormented cries echoed through the woods until silence fell. From that night on, strange occurrences plagued the town. People claimed to hear chilling wails and tortured whispers emanating from the ruins of the forgotten house. Some even said they saw shadowy figures darting through the darkness. The town's once thriving atmosphere grew somber and hushed, and an aura of dread hung over Ravenswood like a thick fog. Despite the warnings, there were those who could not resist the allure of the haunted house. Among them was a group of adventurous teenagers: Sarah, the courageous and inquisitive leader; David, her skeptic but loyal friend; Emily, the timid one who still couldn't resist a thrill; and Mark, the thrill-seeker who dared anything for a rush. One moonlit night, the four friends gathered at the edge of the woods, their faces pale with anticipation and fear. They approached the forgotten house with trepidation, each step accompanied by the creaking of old floorboards and the rustling of unseen creatures. As they entered the dilapidated building, a bone-chilling cold seemed to engulf them, and their breaths turned to fog in the air. Sarah led the way, determined to uncover the truth behind the legends. They wandered deeper into the darkness, their flashlight beams revealing dusty relics of the past, twisted remnants of furniture, and faded portraits that seemed to glare at them from the walls. But as they explored further, strange things began to happen. Their flashlights flickered, and eerie whispers filled the air. Emily clung to David, her heart pounding in her chest. Mark laughed nervously, trying to shake off the fear that gripped him. Sarah, however, remained focused on her quest for answers. Suddenly, the floor beneath them groaned, and they found themselves falling through a hidden trapdoor, landing in a pitch-black underground chamber. Panic set in as they realized they were trapped, surrounded by the ancient, cobweb-laden remains of the family's sinister experiments. The oppressive darkness seemed to come alive, pressing in on them from all sides. The air grew heavier, and their breaths quickened. Then, from the shadows, a haunting whisper echoed, chilling their very souls. The malevolent spirits that had been imprisoned within the walls of the forgotten house were now free, and they hungered for revenge. Their terrified screams filled the night, echoing through the woods and chilling the hearts of those who heard them. The forgotten house had claimed its victims once again, and the cursed dwelling would forever be a place of terror and tragedy, haunting the town of Ravenswood for eternity.